G'day friends and fans, welcome to Dave Talk Stuff. Now, in my research for my first book, The Boyhood of Kaede, I read about different political groups, group dynamics, corporate identities. These are all manipulation tactics of marketing. Okay? And the larger the group, the easier it is to find projection, hypocrisy. Because the larger the group, the more performance. You have leaders, you have group inter-group competition. Those who want to rise to the top, those who preach the loudest, the ideas of equity and often, the statement, the feminist statement, "We can do it." That actually comes out of World War II, a propaganda poster in America to get women to enter the workforce to build aircraft in the factories. Well, it wasn't just aircraft, but it was predominantly aircraft. In the aircraft industry, I think that, or the US Army Air Corps, I forget which one, who produced the poster en masse. Now, some of it is rhetoric and some of it is good intentions, but there's a lot of personal insecurities. People who have deeper complexes. You see this with women who want to take out their anger and frustration on men. Now, sometimes it's because one instance of a bad relationship, and they take it out on all men, and men do it too, but it's often, however, a tool of social engineering, where the best people at the top are not necessarily the best people, only projected as such because they belong to academia, political parties, political organizations, the wives of billionaires, the list goes on and on. This is where we get to the fact that most feminism is influence peddling. So hypocrisy and projection is going to be found in commonplace. One of the most common examples used today is the CEO of Nasty Girl. I'm not going to call her out by name, but the CEO of Nasty Girl, she used feminism to rise the ranks. She challenged corporate power, but when she became a CEO, she engaged in union busting. She was nasty to women. She took other women's ideas as her own. All the things that women accuse men of doing, she did, and worse. And the allegations of against her are wide and many and frequent. But the bad feminist dilemma is a real thing. What makes a good feminist? Well, the more you repeat the slogans, go to marches, the more you repeat, the slogans, the more you march, trying to think, living the lifestyle of the feminist. That is, you make men pay for historical grievances. That's right. But that makes you a bad feminist. Why? Because you're not about equality. Feminism is supposed to be about equality, but then it's supposed to be about equity. You can't have both. Right? Equality under the law immediately gets rid of all the pro-female advantages in society. But if you go for equity, right, that is dragging everyone down, all the feminists scream because, no, you're taking away my hard-earned, take it off the men. Kirsten Dunst. Is it Kirsten Dunst or Kirsten Stewart? The one who's always going on and on about Spider-Man. I didn't get paid as much as Tobey Maguire. Well, it's Spider-Man, not the Mary Jane show, and he did a lot more than you did, and people actually pay to go see Tobey Maguire at the time. So there is no good feminist, because if you are, you're either a female supremacist or a hypocrite. Working for the benefit of all. And then except you don't. You can't. You can't benefit everyone. You can't save everyone. So you end up in the feminist dilemma. Either you're a female supremacist, or you're constantly impoverishing yourself and you're unable to be a good feminist. Feminism is often a moral license to abuse men. No good deed goes unpunished. Men are forced to hire women and then more and more put up with antics in the workplace. Even if you were dating and had a consensual relationship, it still turns out that he's above you, so he used you, he abused you, he discarded you, even though the majority of breakups are instigated by women who cause arguments. But women will argue, no, I was just testing him, or I was holding him accountable. There is so much detestable behaviour done by women that end relationships, but never again. That's a story. Women and accountability is a story for another day. But it is an example of hypocrisy or projection, where they take out their insecurities or frustrations on men, use the moral license of feminism to hit men, use the selective outrage, where you have prime example. Male school teachers dating female students versus female teachers dating students. Who's the predator and who's the one who is empowered? Projection of guilt. This is often found in professionals, where they support feminist business groups to network, and then they project they have their guilt money, where they pour money into feminism to advance the cause, to make sure that they are not seen as a predator in the shark pool, even though they're in a pool of sharks. Misandry versus empowerment. This is the problem. It's, again, comes back to the female dilemma. If you're empowered, you don't need no man. But the problem is, there are so many things in this world where women, in particular, right, find themselves, right, needing car repairs, home repairs, plumbing, electricians. Men consider it normal, but for women, it's got to try and find a female plumber or an all-female gym. But women do not spread themselves out across all jobs. No, they chase the easiest jobs or the richest jobs, and nothing in between. They don't take any of the dangerous jobs or the intensive labour jobs. So you have nature versus rhetoric, and of course they can't reconcile it. So they have failures of across the board. Again, the biggest failure is the individual versus the movement. Feminism is a collective, which means it has to strip the individual of power and agency. Your career is nothing. It is nothing more than a example to be used to hold up that all women can achieve this. That is not true. Not all women can become the CEO of Nasty Girl. Not all women can become the nightly anchor or the Olympic champion, or not all women can become a successful housewife with a second career at home selling online. This is the problem. There are too many options. So instead of encouraging feminists to find their own path, no, they try to collect as many of these women as they can to empower themselves. So it becomes an anti-feminist narrative by its own definition. So instead of being all about women and equality, it's about the empowerment of Jane Fonda or Alexander Ocasio-Cortez's political career, Liz Warren. The list goes on. It becomes about them and their achievements, and how you have to support feminism. You have to support J.K. Rowling or whatever. And so it becomes a marketing tool to deviate economic activity from merit to politics. So feminism just becomes a tool of marketing. Now, the movement is not so much undermined by the hypocrisy of its membership, more its leadership. Many, however, fail to see that feminism is nothing more than a structure created to empower its leadership, just like any political movement. That equality is a slogan. Women are leaving feminism because they realize that its goals cannot be achieved, that it merely exploits its participants to get people elected, who then perpetuate the system, because if they don't, there's no feminism. And remember, all these empowered female school teachers, they have all their money invested in corporations through asset managers like BlackRock. And again, what do? They always blame the working man. Accountability, nowhere to be found. But that's a story for another day. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, subscribe. Please support the channel. You support the channel on Ko-Fi, Patreon. Buy my books, buy my merch. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you to each and every one of you. See you in the next video, and bye for now.